Hello, this is Graham. In this video for Level 2, we look at the contributions of Carl Jung, a contemporary of Sigmund Freud. Carl Gustav Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst who founded the discipline known as Analytical Psychology. Born in 1875, Jung's early family influences included an interest in the occult and academic theology, medicine and academic science. Although Jung was a practicing clinician and writer, and as such founded analytical psychology, much of his life's work was spent exploring other areas such as quantum physics, vitalism, Eastern and Western philosophy, alchemy, astrology and sociology, as well as literature and the arts. Jung's interest in philosophy and spiritual subjects led many to view him as a mystic, although his preference was to be seen as a man of science. Jung, unlike Freud, was highly knowledgeable on philosophical concepts and aimed to bring modern theories of psychology to bear on ancient beliefs and practices. Freud was already established as a clinical psychoanalyst by the time that Jung graduated in medicine in 1900 and started work as an intern under the acclaimed psychiatrist Eugen Bleuler at the prestigious Bergholzli Hospital. Bleuler gave Jung copies of Freud's books and papers and asked him to review them. Jung was broadly positive about them and wrote to Freud to discuss some finer details. Freud knew that he needed a wider following for his work to be accepted, and he seized on Jung and by association the Bergholzli. After 7 years of correspondence, the two eventually met and appeared to get on very well. They travelled to the US together, and in 1910 Freud proposed Jung to be the president of the International Psychoanalytical Association, which he'd formed. However, they had some profound differences of perception and vehement personalities, so by 1913 they had their last meeting. The final catalyst was the publication of a book by Jung outlining his view of the unconscious. Jung spent the First World War as an army doctor in an internment camp, but his book grew in popularity, having been translated into English, and so did his following. In the immediate aftermath of the First World War, Jung spent some time writing, and in 1921 his work Psychological Types was published. From then on, his independence of thought was firmly established, and the theories of psychology and psychotherapy that he developed were known collectively as analytical psychology. I'm going to describe a few of these. To begin with, anima and animus was an amazing way of addressing our hugely gender-biased society. Jung held that all of us have aspects of feminine personality and masculine personality, and it was completely appropriate to be able to express both of them. Archetypes are roles in our culture that have persisted for thousands of years and are played out by us in our daily lives. While there are many of these, and many different labels can be applied, he identified a dozen particular ones. These included the magician, the hero, the caregiver, the lover, and the sage. The persona is a consciously created mask that we adopt to allow us to fit in with the society in which we live. It serves to impress other people, and it hides aspects of ourselves from scrutiny. The shadow exists as part of the unconscious mind, and it too consists of traits that we resist accepting as our own and would rather ignore. Typically, these are impulses, repressed ideas, weaknesses, desires, instincts, and shortcomings. The things that are deemed unacceptable by society, but also those that are not aligned with our own personal sense of morals and values. Therapy, then, aims to help the individuation process, through which the client regains their own self by liberating it from the deceptive cover of the persona and from the power of unconscious impulses. It's hard to find an area of modern personal psychology that is not influenced by Jung. His psychological types led to the development of the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs Types Instrument. His view that alcoholism could be addressed by spirituality led to the methods of Alcoholics Anonymous. and many of his theories have fed the analysis of dreams, pop psychology, New Age thinking, and even the recent use of psychedelic drugs.